Recently on Ben Shapiro's show, Daily Wire, he ended up preaching the gospel to his audience because of a recent bill that passed in Congress. Now, guys, if you don't know what's happening or what's going on in today's video, we're going to be diving more into this. Now, we won't be focusing on the bill and all of that, but what we will be focusing on is how Ben Shapiro beautifully expressed and shared the gospel, who Jesus was, and what he came to do and save us from. Now, if you don't know who Ben Shapiro is, he is Jewish and does not believe that Jesus is the Messiah, although he's had some great conversations with guys like John MacArthur and others about Jesus, who he is, the historical figure that he was, etc. But Ben still just does not seem to be too into the whole idea that Jesus is actually the Messiah. The same Christ who the Old Testament talks about is who Jesus was in the New Testament. Ben's not there yet and doesn't seem interested in getting there, but he clearly understands the gospel message. And this video proves it.
Or, for example, there's a claim here. It says, using the symbols and images associated with classic anti-Semitism, e.g. claims of Jews killing Jesus or blood libel to characterize Israel or Israelis. Now, again, I know what they're going for. What they're going for is the Der Stürmer cartoon of, for example, an Israeli soldier who is drinking the blood of a Palestinian child, right? Clearly anti-Semitic. Or an Israeli soldier who is killing Jesus. And Jesus is a Palestinian, clearly anti-Semitic. However, the way this is phrased suggests that it is anti-Semitic to say that Jews killed Jesus. Well, according to the New Testament, Jews did involve themselves in the killing of Jesus. Jews, the Sanhedrin, according to the New, again, I'm a Jew, so this is not my book. But my best understanding from all my Christian friends and from reading the New Testament is that the Jews, under the New Testament, the Jews referred Jesus for prosecution to Pontius Pilate, who then convicted, out of fear of riots, Jesus to death, and then gave the Jews the opportunity to free Jesus, and they chose not to do so. And in the book of Matthew, there's a verse where it says, his blood be upon us and our children, right? That's all from the New Testament.
So we clearly see here, Ben Shapiro is making it clear. Hey, listen, this is not my book. This is not what I believe. But this is what my Christian friends have told me. This is what I've read in the New Testament. So here's the gospel message. Here is the message of Jesus Christ and what he came to do. Making it clear here. He then goes on and says this,
which has been rejected by the Catholic Church, which is that Jews today are collectively responsible for the death of Jesus, which is not what the Catholic Church says. It's not what Protestants say. Again, my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, because again, I'm not a Christian, is that the basic idea is that all of humanity is collectively responsible for the death of Jesus. That is humanity's great sin, and Jesus wiped away original sin through his death. And Jews are a stand-in as a sinful group in the death of Jesus for everyone. Okay, put all of that aside. The definition is vague and badly worded.
So we see here that Ben makes it abundantly clear why Jesus came, who is at fault, how the Jewish people are not the ones just to point the finger at, etc. So this is encouraging, guys. I know Ben Shapiro made it clear he's not a Christian in this video. He made it clear that this is not what he believes, but there is encouragement here because there could be an audience listener watching, listening to this message, and all of a sudden that presentation of the gospel just clicks for them. It just kind of opens their blind eyes and deaf ears to understanding the truth, answering the questions that they may have in their head. It may draw them to go to the scriptures and open up the Bible and see what was Ben talking about here. Who is this Jesus character? He came to save the world, and the whole face of humanity is at fault for the death of Christ. Like, how does this understand? How does this make sense? I mean, this might plant some seeds, guys, into people. So I'm encouraged to see that Ben Shapiro understands the gospel. I'm encouraged that he's able to articulate the gospel in a way that, sadly, even most Christians wouldn't be able to do. But let's be in prayer for Ben Shapiro. Let's be in prayer that the audience there listening, that these seeds would have been planted. And let's be praying that one day Ben Shapiro would come to know this exact gospel message that he just laid forth in front of his audience. Real quick, guys, if you enjoyed that video, consider subscribing to the BTteam Ministry YouTube channel, as well as drop a like for the YouTube algorithm and leave a comment down below. I'd love to have some dialogue and conversation with you as well. If you liked this video, you might like this one over here.